So we have got the verdict of the World Court.
Right.
And what would be one single sentence that we could describe the gist of the judgment from the International Court of Justice?
I would call it a draw.
A draw for both Thailand and Cambodia.
Yes, but judging from the initial reaction from both sides, it seemed that the Thai side is the happier one.
You cannot say the Thai side has won the battle.
No, we cannot say that. Some certain unexpected elements in the verdict that do not go well with the Thai position.
Yeah, but I think overall it's an attempt by the ICJ to mediate between the two countries.
Yes, both sides seem to have been asked by the court to take one step back.
Yeah, withdraw your troops, and we will set aside demilitarized zones, DMZ.
Yes. The Thai side is happy because this so-called demilitarized zone is a little bit smaller than the 4.6 square kilometers zone that the Cambodian everyone was talking about earlier.
So for both sides, they win some, they lose some. I think
Yes,
that
of course. The Thai side did not expect the court to order directly the opening up of the entrance to the temple from the Thai side. And also we did not expect the court to order directly the observation from ASEAN when it comes to troop withdrawal.
Well, the Indonesian observer team concept was from the UN Security Council.
Yes.
So this is part of the whole procedure. And I think that's why the ICJ says that, you follow the UN decision on sending observers from Indonesia, chairman of ASEAN, to monitor the situation.
Right.
So a sort of a ceasefire has been called by the ICJ. Then there is the demilitarized zone. There is also the instruction for Thailand to open up the road up to Kapravihan.
Yes.
And also at the same time, the Cambodian side has to withdraw its troops.
Right. They must not have. They didn't expect the court to order them to also withdraw from the temple.
Yeah, because Cambodia was only trying to get the ICJ to
get the Thai troops out.
Yeah, get the Thai troops out by interpreting the judgment or the verdict of 1962.
Right.
Cambodia did not expect the World Court to go one step further, look at the overall situation, and see what can be done to reduce tension on the border.
Right. But in the long term, the Cambodia could be very happy because the court today insisted that it has the authority to consider the whole case. The original petition from the Cambodia.
Well, that could take another year.
But today the court said we have the right to make a decision, to make a say at least on this matter. The Thai side, we petitioned against this. We said we want the Cambodian original request to be dropped by the court.
Yep. Also, the verdict says that both sides should refrain from any action that could increase tension.
Yes, any kind of aggression. So that is good for both sides.
Yeah.
For people on both sides of the border.
I think the people on the border should feel relieved because that would mean that Thailand and Cambodia would have to stop any activity that could provoke the other side. And ICJ, despite the fact that it does not have the authority on demarcation of border, does have the moral authority in the international arena.
Right.
And it is directly, under the UN Security Council. So if need be, the ICJ could go to the UNSC to ask for help. But so far, I think that they are doing it step by step. First, to reduce tension, to make sure that both sides are back in their positions, and that none of the warring parties would try to do anything that would disrupt the peace on the border. And I think that's a good step.
Yes.
And that is, the sort of the compromise verdict in my mind.
Right. And another bright side is that the change of guard in Thailand. We have a new government coming, and this new government is reportedly is more welcome to the Cambodians than the opposite government.
So maybe, in the end, Cambodia may not take any further action, may even withdraw the request for the World Court to reinterpret the verdict of 1962, because if politically, if both governments can reach some sort of an agreement, then they don't need to go to the World Court.
Well, but when in a statement welcoming the coming of the Yingluck government, the Cambodian side said that we welcome these new rulers of Thailand as long as the 1962 verdict of the court is respected.
Well, there's a big
by the
condition
Thai
there,
side.
right?
Yes.
So we shall see, but at least the ICJ verdict today is a welcome move. It doesn't solve the problem, but at least it is one step to relieve the tension and try to get both sides to sit down and talk calmly on how to take the next step, which hopefully would be reconciliation rather than further confrontation.